11 News. Coverage you can count on.
A CDC panel is expected to give Pfizer the go-ahead to give their vaccine to kids ages 12 to 15. That announcement expected later today. And kids could start getting the shots as soon as tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Jennifer Tmazik. There's also a bill that's about to be introduced in Harrisburg centered around kids and vaccines. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond explains how the bill would give children more of a say.
Let's say you have a 14-year-old son or daughter and you don't want them to get the COVID-19 vaccine or any other vaccination for that matter. Well, one state senator wants kids as young as 14 years old to be able to just walk right in anywhere to get a vaccine without their parents' consent.
Specific to vaccinations here in
Senator Amanda Capoletti represents Montgomery and Delaware counties in the Philadelphia area. She plans to introduce a bill that would allow teenagers 14 and older to decide whether to get CDC recommended immunizations, and parents or guardians would not be able to override their decision.
It shouldn't go no further, no. Nope, no. It should be parents' decision.
If you want to start building up young leadership and stuff, you got to start building it up. And when parents say you have to get it, the kids can say no. And if the parents say you can't get it, the kids can say yes. The kid will know better what's best for them. But I still think the parents should be involved in somewhat in having a conversation with it.
In the memorandum for the legislation, Capoletti wrote, quote, Pennsylvania law already allows minors age 14 and over to consent to inpatient mental health treatment. This bill will largely mirror the mental health law to allow minors 14 and over to consent to CDC recommended immunizations. I reached out to Senator Capoletti, and we'll have more details from her as well as where this proposal stands for Channel 11 News at 5. Reporting in Ross Township, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
A breaking update on a near drowning in Murraysville. We just learned the 9-month-old baby fell into a fish tank. This was the scene around Sardis Road yesterday. Police say the boy could walk, and even though there was a baby gate around the tank, he got through the gate. The baby's older brother pulled him out. Paramedics were able to get his heart beating again, and he was rushed to Children's Hospital. We're continuing to work on this case for Channel 11 News coming up tonight at 5.
Now back to the vaccine vote. The state health department says they are ready for the Pfizer vaccine to be approved for kids. They told vaccine providers to start getting ready by the end of the week. There are about 750,000 children between the ages of 12 and 15 in Pennsylvania. Now, one clinic apparently jumped the gun. A small number of kids got their first COVID shot yesterday at the AHN clinic at Pittsburgh Mills. They issued a statement saying they appreciate the eagerness of many families to have their children vaccinated, and they're going to wait for the state's announcement before giving any more vaccines to kids between 12 and 15.
Governor Tom Wolf is speeding up the timeline, raising event capacity earlier than expected. Starting Monday, capacity for indoor events jumps from 25% to 50%. Also starting Monday, capacity for outdoor events increases to 75%. Then Memorial Day, the governor said that's when all restrictions will be lifted, but masks are still required. This all comes at a perfect time for the wedding season, graduation parties, concerts, and other big events.
We feel really kind of anxious and excited that we're just ready to get back at it. And we feel that that's coming closer with these types of announcements every day.
Governor Wolf is set to be in Pittsburgh this afternoon, and he'll be talking about 2 referendum questions on Tuesday's election ballot. Wolf will be urging voters to reject attempts to take away some of his control on disaster and emergency declarations. Look for the new developments tonight starting at 5 on Channel 11.
New at noon, we just found out how the city is going to celebrate Juneteenth this year. Channel 11's Mike Holden has more on all the events.
A major celebration is in the works in honor of Juneteenth, and the officials behind all of it say this is a true moment, a sign of progress, and a time to shine a light on diversity and inclusion right here in Pittsburgh. Community leaders came together and made it official inside council chambers. They announced a number of plans and celebrations for Juneteenth. Known as Freedom Day to many and held on June 19th, Juneteenth celebrates the end of slavery here in the United States. Organizers say this is a historic moment and so important following a number of recent events. Some of the local events on tap include a Juneteenth kickoff fest at Chartiers Park on June 12th, a Juneteenth Freedom Day celebration at Point State Park the 18th through the 20th, and the highly anticipated Pittsburgh Black Music Fest at Point State Park June 21st through June 27th. Officials say they couldn't be more excited.
When we first started out this planning in 2020, We didn't know what the circumstance was going to be, but we were persistent in trying to make this happen. And then we got sponsors to come in to help us build this program out.
And we have a full list of all of the events posted on WPXI.com, as well as the WPXI News app, specifically the upcoming parade. In the meantime, we're now taking a closer look at how officials are working to keep everyone safe during a COVID-19 era for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting downtown, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
We are following some breaking news out of Philadelphia where an out-of-control car crashed into an outdoor dining area. You see this video from above. At least 4 people apparently were put on stretchers. You can see that car looks like it hit into a parked van and then it went into the chairs and tables. They were just all tossed around. Those were some that were inside one of those dining pods.
Well, another day with plenty of sunshine, but meteorologist Danielle Dozier is still tracking below average temperatures out there.
Yeah, it's a cool one for us for sure. Visible satellite shows the little white speckles that are coming across the screen, and this is the fair weather cumulus clouds that we are detecting out there today. We're going to have plenty of sunshine though, so make sure you have your sunglasses. It is cool though, 52 in Greensburg right now, 56 in Pittsburgh, 56 in Washington. However, the good news is we are on our way up into the lower 60s this afternoon. We do have a bit of a breeze to contend with today. That wind is out of the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour for us this afternoon, and the temperature will push to about 61 with that sunshine. We do have a bigger warm up ahead. I'm going to let you know when temperatures will climb back to where they should be for this time of year. Coming up.
And we are following some more breaking news here. We just found out that it was a pregnant woman who was shot in Wilkinsburg overnight, and Allegheny County police just made an arrest. So they say, let's talk about the woman first. She's 23 years old. She was shot in the stomach and the arm, Allegheny County police say, and right now she is in the hospital in critical but stable condition. Allegheny County police have just arrested 28-year-old Dorian McIntosh. They say that he and the woman were living together. We are getting many more updates right now from police on this case, and we'll have more tonight at 5. We're also learning some more today about a story we followed last night on WPXI Tonight. Police tell us that a teen was driving this car when it crashed in Hempfield Township, and police think the car was stolen. South Greensburg Fire Department posted those pictures. The car crashed right where Route 119 meets County Road Home in Hempfield Township. State police say the driver was not hurt, but they did take him into custody. So far, we don't know of any charges being filed.
Pittsburgh City Council has unanimously passed a new hate crime bill that goes beyond current state law. It will offer protection to the LGBTQ community. The state's current ethnic intimidation statute only pertains to race, color, religion, or national origin. According to Pittsburgh police, though, 6% of hate crimes were motivated by a person's sexual orientation since 2008. Police are a step closer to putting a body camera on every officer in Allegheny County. That's thousands of police in more than 100 departments. County Council passed a bill creating a group that would help municipal police departments find funding and develop policies. The bill was first introduced in March. The goal of the body cameras is to create better transparency and accountability. Officials have said they'd like to see every officer equipped with a body camera by the end of the year.
A federal judge has dismissed the National Rifle Association's bankruptcy case, so the gun rights group will have to face a lawsuit from New York State. The focus of the bankruptcy case is over whether the NRA should be allowed to incorporate in Texas instead of New York. The judge says he dropped the case because he found the bankruptcy was not filed in good faith. The NRA declared bankruptcy in January, 5 months after the New York Attorney General's office sued, seeking its dissolution.
The nation needs it. The nation needs a strong Republican Party. The nation needs a party that is based upon fundamental principles of conservatism.
A big shakeup in Washington today. Congresswoman Liz Cheney has been ousted from her leadership role position for criticizing former President Donald Trump. And she had a message for Trump after this morning's vote. Our Jacqueline Fell has her reaction.
Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney came out from that private meeting vowing to continue her fight against former President Donald Trump. She was just one of 10 Republicans who voted in favor of impeaching Trump.
I will do everything I can to ensure that the former president never again gets anywhere near the Oval Office.
Cheney warned that Trump could incite more violence over the election results. Trump has continued to say the 2020 election was stolen from him, though state and federal election officials, the Justice Department, and courts have ruled there was no massive voter fraud. Many Republicans have taken up that cause, though, and say Cheney is no longer able to be a leader within the party.
Frankly, it doesn't serve us well if she's fomenting division in our ranks.
Former President Trump put out a statement calling Cheney a poor leader and says she's bad for the country. This move has really divided the Republican Party at a time when leaders are urging unity as they look to take back control of Congress in the 2022 midterms. In Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
A Republican-led Pennsylvania House committee wants to make major changes to state election laws. The committee laid out its plan this week in a report. Recommended changes include allowing people to register to vote only up to 30 days before an election. Right now, you can register up to 15 days before Election Day. They also want to require signature verification for all mail-in ballots and more training for election officials, and hold more audits after elections.
Pope Francis resumed his weekly general audience today after doing it virtually for 6 months. The limited number of visitors had their temperatures checked as they entered the Vatican today. As you can see, everybody had a mask on there and they sat socially distant. Pope Francis has been vaccinated. He appeared to be energized by the crowd, as were the faithful who attended the Mass.
It was amazing, you know, it was very touching. It was wonderful to hear him and to see how close he was to us. So it was a very special moment indeed.
Pope Francis has been advocating for people to get vaccinated against COVID.
Panic at the pumps after a pipeline hack. Just look at these long lines for gas. Why experts say now is not the time to overreact.
Running across the highway, just flailing his arms like trying to get somebody's attention.
The saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. What happened to a Good Samaritan after she tried to help another driver?
And we have that sunshine, and we're looking clear tonight, but that's going to set the stage for another cold morning tomorrow. I'm going to let you know how cold coming up.
And how a car shortage could save you money at the dealership.
Welcome back. Being a good Samaritan took a turn for the worse. A woman went to help someone, but then her car got stolen. Courtney Kish was driving and saw a bad crash on the Parkway East. So she says someone was flagging her down, so she got out to help.
As I'm running back, like he's taking off in my car, and I'm yelling, I'm like, my phone, my phone. So I start trying to flag down somebody else, you know, to get a cell phone to call 911. I'm telling you, 15, 20 people at least drove by me.
And here's what police say happened. They say that Derek Brown was on a crime spree across the city. He was the one that caused the crash. Courtney's car ended up in Monroeville at a motel, and that's where she says she helped identify the suspect. A Mercer County man is accused of misusing funds that were supposed to help him during the pandemic. Martin Kopsick got $150,000 from the Small Business Administration to keep his business going. It's not clear what that business is. But according to the indictment, he used that money for personal expenses, a vacation, and home improvements instead. Now, just last week, the Small Business Administration said that they recovered more than $1 billion from people who faked information on their loan applications.
The long-term effects of COVID are the focus of a new study at the University of Pittsburgh. It's the largest study to date on how the virus affects the brain and nervous system. That study found 80% of COVID patients sick enough to be admitted to the hospital developed neurological symptoms. The most common was loss of smell and headaches. In rare cases, it can lead to a coma or stroke. People with pre-existing conditions are more likely to develop these symptoms. Data shows that vaccines are working well in preventing serious cases and severe cases of the virus.
Carnival could restart cruises in July. It hopes to set sail from Florida and Texas. Carnival is also looking for a way for ships to visit Alaska. So right now they can't get there because of a Canadian cruise ban. Given the uncertainty, Carnival is letting travelers who have those cruises booked cancel without penalty by May 31st to get a full refund. More and more gas stations on the East Coast are running out of gas. As Gordon mentioned, look at these lines here. People are anxiously there in line trying to fill up their tanks after a ransomware attack shut down a crucial pipeline. Now, there is not a fuel shortage right now, but fear could fuel one. Here's reporter Britt Conway.
Panic at the pump.
No, it's out.
After a ransomware attack shut down the Colonial Pipeline Friday, which is still mostly offline. The 5,500-mile pipeline supplies about 45% of all fuel used on the East Coast, where nervous drivers have been lining up and filling up. Station after station is running out.
We don't have no more.
AAA says the price of a gallon of gas has shot up more than 7 cents in the last week. Certainly, demand is up, but what about supply?
It's not that we have a gasoline shortage. It's that we have this supply crunch.
Meaning the fear of running out of fuel is fueling supply issues.
Let me emphasize that much as there was no cause for, say, hoarding toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic, there should be no cause for hoarding gasoline.
This will probably be all cleared up in a few days, maybe by the end of the week if we're lucky. The U.S. has a fairly large supply of gasoline in reserve.
By the end of today, Colonial Pipeline could make a decision about a full restart. But just in case it's delayed, a number of states and the EPA have taken emergency steps to ease supply concerns. In the meantime, officials are asking for patience before pumping.
It will take a few days to ramp up operations.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
A good update for drivers who use part of Miller's Run Road in South Fayette. Temporary traffic lights are now up at each end of the lane closure for a landslide there. Yesterday, we told you drivers were concerned about that stretch of road because they said the orange barriers PennDOT put up made it harder to see when a car was coming from the opposite direction. PennDOT says the road won't be fixed until next year. The Washington Park pool will not be opening this summer. According to our partners at WPXI, there are a number of problems with the pool, including unsafe lighting. Officials say they had some money set aside for repairs, but they're not able to make those repairs right now. The pool was shut down last season because of the pandemic. Officials hope they'll be able to make the repairs soon so they can open it for next summer.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Taking a look at our 24-hour temperature change, we are running a little bit warmer than this time yesterday. In Pittsburgh, 3 degrees warmer. In Washington, 7 degrees warmer. And in Beaver, 5 degrees warmer. So it is nice to see the temperatures on the up and up here this afternoon. Our biking forecast shows if you are getting out and about today, temperatures in the upper 50s through 1 o'clock and low 60s through 3 o'clock in the afternoon and headed into late day. So we are pushing temperatures warmer this afternoon than what we've had over the previous days, which has been only in the 50s. So if you are heading out, you may just need a light jacket. If you're on your bike, maybe a long sleeve shirt. Frost advisory goes into effect and will continue until 8 o'clock in the morning Thursday. So this will be during the overnight period and into the morning tomorrow. Our entire area here in blue is under a frost advisory because our air temperatures are going to be dropping into the low to middle 30s once again into tomorrow morning. So if you have any sensitive plants, we just talked to an expert yesterday, peppers, tomatoes, beans, squashes, you want to wrap those up with a cloth tonight, not plastic is what they say, into tomorrow morning. As far as flowers, marigolds, zinnias, things like that. Overnight tonight, we're looking at a low down to 37 degrees under a clear sky. We're going to have light northerly winds. The winds out there today are a little bit breezy out of the north. They'll come down later on tonight. 35 in Butler, 36 in Greensburg, 38 in Uniontown, and 34 up in Indiana. So just a really unseasonably cool start to the day on Thursday. The good news about tomorrow is we do warm temperatures up a bit more, and we're still going to get the sunshine in here. So maybe you wanted to have lunch outdoors. We're going to have a temperature that's going to be warming to about 62 at 3 o'clock, and by 5 o'clock we're in the mid 60s with plenty of sunshine, just a few fair weather clouds. Tomorrow afternoon in Washington, mid 60s for you. I think we're all going to be climbing into the mid 60s. This is model data here. This is our actual forecast for Pittsburgh. So I think we actually could all climb a little bit higher there into the mid 60s. 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. We've got low 40s into Friday morning, so we see the lows are beginning to come up as well. 65 on Friday with a chance for isolated showers. We do get into the weekend and the temperatures warm up, and we finally say goodbye to this low pressure system that has been ushering in this cooler air to our area over the last several days. So by Saturday, it's isolated showers for us at 67, and then we'll cool down to 47 into Sunday morning. If you did have any outdoor plans this weekend, I would say Sunday's the better of the two. We do have that chance for rain there on Saturday, but Sunday is looking completely dry at this point with that temperature up to 70 degrees. Coming up in the next half hour, we are talking a rocket launch again. It has been scrubbed over the last couple of days, so I'll let you know the new time that NASA plans to launch that rocket coming up.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Another shortage has been making headlines. Cars selling fast. Why fewer cars could be good news if you're looking for a new ride. And a lot of research goes on at local universities. How CMU says shape-shifting pasta could change the world.
Wyoming. All right, so it's going to be a little bit longer before we know what will come of the restaurant space at the airport in Westmoreland County. According to our partners at the Trib, the Westmoreland County Airport Authority is delaying any decision right now at the Arnold Palmer Regional Airport until at least next month. Commissioners want the board to allow for competitive bids. They say 5 different restaurants would pay more than the business operating there right now. Pittsburgh is joining the fight to ban plastic bags. City Council just passed a resolution about it yesterday. This allows them to show support for a current lawsuit. Philadelphia and 3 boroughs are suing the state after the General Assembly passed a law blocking bans on plastic bags.
A new creation at Carnegie Mellon University. Scientists have come up with a pasta that can morph into different shapes when cooked. They imprint tiny grooves into each flat dough, and then when it hits the boiling water, the pasta morphs into tubes, spirals, twists, and waves. The design, they say, is all about conservation. Flat pasta can reduce packaging and save space in storage and transportation.
I could watch that video over and over again. Really, it's that intriguing. Okay, speaking of CMU, students weigh in on the school's decision to require a COVID vaccine if you want to go there in the fall.
And waiting on workers, how a lack of help is cutting into the bottom line for some local businesses.
Good afternoon. Plenty of sunshine out there today, but you know what? It does not feel like May today. Meteorologist Danielle Dozier is tracking those temperatures in Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, Jen, we should be at 71, and that's not going to be the case today, although we are inching closer each and every day as we head into the end of the week. Take a look outside. We have the beautiful blue sky, few clouds. It's 56 right now in the city. It's warmer in Beaver at 59 and cooler in Greensburg right now at 52. Maybe you have to mow your lawn later on this evening. Temperatures will be climbing to about 61. Through 7 o'clock, it's still 60, and by 8 o'clock, we are in the upper 50s. We do have plenty of sunshine continuing into this evening, and that will bode well for a rocket launch if it takes place. We've been talking about this for a few days now. The NASA, that is launching this rocket from Wallops Island, Virginia. So if you're just joining us, it'll set to take place at 8:06 tonight p.m. and our viewing time is 30 to 60 seconds after launch here for Western PA. So the weather should cooperate on our end. Now we just have to hope the weather cooperates there in Virginia for that launch. And if it doesn't cooperate, we're most likely looking at once again tomorrow night and a possible new time. So we'll keep you posted. I'll see you back in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Carnegie Mellon University just joined the growing list of colleges requiring a COVID vaccine before the fall semester. CMU is the first in the region to mandate it. The policy will apply to all undergrads and graduate students.
It's going to make sure that we have the most in-person opportunities, which is like all I'm waiting for pretty much.
We can enjoy the study spaces together and our eating spaces, and I think that'll just kind of bring a sense of unity back to the campus.
CMU plans to provide vaccination clinics in the weeks leading up to the start of the fall semester. At least 320 colleges have imposed vaccine mandates for the fall. Pitt is not one of them. They strongly urge students to get vaccinated, but have not made it a requirement.
We used to have 40 employees downtown. Right now I'm at 20. And it's not for the lack of trying. I mean, I'm trying as hard as I can to staff it up.
In 2 weeks, that restaurant can go to full capacity, but they don't have their full staff. That owner told our Serafina James that he is raising wages in hopes of getting workers in the door.
I mean, what am I going to do? We're going to have more people here, and it's just not going to be able to handle it.
As businesses work to return to normal, they're facing a big challenge.
We can't find any line cooks. We're looking for managers. We're looking kitchen managers, assistant kitchen managers.
They're having trouble finding employees. Now signs saying hiring or short-staffed can be found on the doors of local businesses, including Redbeard's. This sign telling customers their hours have changed.
Ever since we come back, it's very tough to staff our full restaurant. We got limited hours. We used to open up 7 days a week.
Now Redbeard's hours of operations cut in half, and between their two locations, they're down a total of 35 employees.
A lot of people in the industry went to other professions, and the main thing I think is the free money, the $300 a week extra besides your unemployment. I think that has a lot to do with it also.
According to a Labor Department report issued Tuesday, U.S. employers posted a record number of available jobs in March, but the number and rate of new hires only slightly increased. Now employers desperate to find workers are offering incentives like Chipotle. They announced they will raise its average pay wage to $15 per hour. Redbeard's owner Len Semples tells me he did the same. He even tried signing bonuses, but so far hasn't had any luck.
They're still not biting. Some of them just don't want to work. Just don't want to work. But if they have to work and they're not going to get the free money, I'm sure they'll be here. But we need the people, and we got the hours, and I got the money. I just need to get the people in who don't want to work.
In Pittsburgh, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
We're getting a better idea of how Pittsburgh schools are using pandemic relief money. $11 million was used to purchase student and staff-served devices, PPE, and sanitary supplies. That leaves about $150 million to support other needs.
That's about addressing learning loss and making sure that we can have sustained gains in student achievement going forward.
Close to 3,000 students have signed up for the district's summer boost program called Reverse the COVID-19 Slide.
There's another name vying for Senator Pat Toomey's Senate seat when he retires. Republican Sean Parnell made his announcement last night. The Army veteran lost a congressional race to Democrat Connor Lamb last year. Parnell says that he is ready for another fight. Parnell joins a long list of Republican candidates in the primary. It includes Jeff Bartos. A number of Democrats are running for their party's nomination. They include Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta.
Every candidate is very nervous, and I understand, but we are doing everything we can to fix it.
So we told you that nearly 200 voters in Westmoreland County were sent incorrect ballots. They didn't have the race for district magistrate in Unity Township on them. Well, new ballots are in the mail, and voters impacted by the mistake are getting some extra days to return the ballots. So officials say the 189 voters who got the wrong ballots should keep an eye out in their mailboxes. The candidates running hope that it doesn't cause confusion or distrust with the integrity of the election.
My biggest concern is that once another ballot is issued, it invalidates the first one completely. You're running a risk of possibly disenfranchising a voter.
Only 2 of the 189 ballots with the mistake were sent back in.
The pandemic has prompted so much change, and lately we're seeing it shake up the supply and demand for products we use in our everyday lives. In a new series, Summer Shortages, Channel 11's Liz Kilmer explores why a car shortage could actually be good news for buyers.
It's something that we just would have never even foreseen.
A situation never faced before by Mike Engel, general manager of Jim Shorkey Auto Group and the auto industry at large. A drastic drop in new vehicle production, all driven by a shortage of these microchips.
They run everything from the infotainment system to blind spot monitoring, backup cameras. Everything that we want in our vehicles now are all, the result of these microchips.
Not to mention, they're in our electronics, our appliances, fitness equipment. And in quarantine, demand spiked, production slowed, and now we're looking at a global shortage, making it harder than before to get those things, particularly a brand new car.
If you look back in December, this entire lot would have been full of brand new vehicles. And as you can see right now, it's pretty scarce.
Same case in Greensburg for Smale Auto Group. This is their overflow lot. Last year, you would have seen about 200 cars. Now it's empty.
It's impacted the new vehicle inventories. We're, about 30% less inventory right now than we had in 19.
Some manufacturers have been impacted more than others, and some are cutting back on incentives, which could mean you'll pay more for a new car than expected. Still, though, the dealers we spoke with say it is a good time to buy, and if you're trading in, you may be in better shape than you'd think.
People who are coming in and turning in a lease in June or July are going to find that inventory is really, really short, so the selection is less. But on the positive side, their trade-in value could be 20–30% higher than it's ever been.
Yes, it's very, very hot, and it's a lot of people are trying to find used inventories for their lots. Even the rental companies are looking for used cars to rent out. It's just a very short supply of autos right now in our industry.
So what's the solution? President Joe Biden addressed the shortage during a summit recently, saying the U.S. must invest in chip infrastructure, with NBC News reporting that chips today largely come from places like Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and China.
And we need to get chip manufacturing plants in the U.S. made here by Americans for the automotive industry.
Until then, when will we again see sparse lots like this full of brand new cars to browse?
I wouldn't foresee that we're out of this until at least the fourth quarter or first quarter of 2022.
Liz Kilmer, Channel 11 News.
Murder hornets are set to return. Why the big bugs prefer one state over any other.
And it has been rough for a lot of businesses. Are shoppers ready to return to the local malls yet? We'll take a look up next. Shoppers are getting back out to the mall. Simon Property Group owns Ross Park Mall, South Hills Village, and Grove City Outlets. It says that sales and traffic are improving week over week, and they say that there is clearly some level of euphoria from shoppers. Still, the company is being conservative, saying it's hard to predict what things will look like a year from now. Do you toss your receipts and records in a box? Might be time for some spring cleaning.
Our consumer advisor Clark Howard has more on one of the best ways to keep your records safe.
We moved recently and had 25 years of crates of records. And it was like, Clark, you got to get into the modern era. So we digitized our files. First, we found a lot of what we had we didn't need anymore. We worked a shredder overtime, but a lot of other things we just scanned in. And once you've scanned them in, you can either use third party like Google Drive or use one of the Apple equivalents, or what I like is get an external hard drive, hook it up to your computer. You have the records right there. You don't have to worry about hackers getting into somebody else's database, and you've got the records right there for you. Now, people that are truly paranoid, like a hard drive crashing or getting lost, save both places, but what you eliminate is stacks and stacks and stacks of paper. Who wants that anymore? I'm Clark Howard.
We are entering year...
Well, we are getting cold the next couple of mornings. I'm going to let you know what your neighborhood will drop down to, and we'll talk rainfall chances in our future.
We are entering year 3 of murder hornets in North America. The reason one state is the best breeding ground for the bugs. Terrifying many on the West Coast and beyond. Murder hornets have worked their way from folklore to reality over the past couple of years. And now researchers and beekeepers are holding their breath as they wait to see how many new colonies this spring season will bring. Here's Jane Wells.
Oh my God. No, seriously. God, why?
Whoa. Like that.
We are entering the 3rd year of the murder hornet in North America.
I haven't heard anybody from up there say that they've actually detected any yet. I know that's coming.
I have no doubt that at the current moment there are queens waking up. This is honey that's ready to eat.
Beekeeper Ted McFall is especially worried. You lead the way, sir. His bees north of Seattle are a couple miles from where the one confirmed murder hornet nest was found last year, containing maybe 100 queens.
They slaughtered my best colony. I just showed up and then I found a bunch of headless bees. I mean, I've been beekeeping my whole life and I'd never seen something like that.
These hornets, also known as giant Asian hornets, are the largest on Earth, with queens that are king-sized.
Considering the statistical odds of them getting here in the first place, it's amazing they haven't made it before, which tells you how difficult it actually is.
And that's why entomologist Lynn Kimsey is hopeful the pest might be confined to the Pacific Northwest. That's because the moist Seattle summers are perfect for the hornet. If it flew south, it would not survive the hot, dry weather. It might love the humidity on the East Coast, but that's a long way for this large social beast to go.
A murder hornet victim.
The hornets have become lore. A radio station in Bellingham got a call from the owner of the original nest.
Would you like a murder hornet? And I said, would I?
Host John Reynolds then received several dead hornets, which he's been giving away in a contest, like to a couple of little girls with a unique collection, and to taxidermist Matt Clope.
I have a taxidermy shop with some weird stuff.
I have my suspicions that one was going to wind up in the adult novelty world, and we didn't want to get mixed up in that.
You have to laugh, or else you'd scream.
It is a creature from hell.
Jane Wells, CNBC Business News, Bellingham, Washington.
Wow, as long as they stay on that side of the country, we're fine. If you live in the Fox Chapel area school district, you could pay slightly more in school taxes next year. The Trib reports the school board is considering a $104 million budget. That would raise taxes by about $26 for people who own homes worth about $100,000. The board plans to vote on the budget next month.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, we always encourage you to share with us your weather pictures. I've been getting some sunset pictures in lately. We've had beautiful blue skies, so I would love to see your weather pictures. You can share them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and if it's a stormy day, hashtag WPXI storm on Twitter. Take a look outside, though. We do have a bit of a breeze today, 10 to 15 miles per hour. You may see those trees blowing in the wind a little bit. We do have a fair weather cumulus cloud out there, so a nice, beautiful day to get outside, really. It is going to be a little bit warmer than what we've had out there lately, but right now we're still in the mid-50s. Keep in mind, though, this is actually where we topped out for high temperatures yesterday, and so those are typically reached this time of year between about 2 and 4 o'clock, and so we are looking at temperatures pushing close to 60 this afternoon. Right now, it is 56 in the city, 57 in Beaver, 57 in Indiana. Here's the wind, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds, Butler and Indiana, 12 and 13 mile per hour winds for Beaver and Pittsburgh. Today's high temperature, 61 degrees under a sunny sky, and you'll need the sunglasses all day long. North breeze 10 to 15 miles per hour will settle down later tonight. It is the clear sky, though, that we're forecasting, as well as the light winds that will lead to some frost formation once again. So we talked a little bit about that. And this is a look at your lows. 35 in Butler, 34 in Washington, and 38 in Uniontown. 36 out in Greensburg, it's a little colder there. And so we've been talking about this cold morning. Why has it been so cold? Well, we've had what we call a trough of low pressure that has been hovering over the northeast U.S. And what happens is when you have this dip in the jet stream, this trough, if you will, it allows that cooler air to continuously pump in, and we get that northwest wind flow at the surface and aloft in the atmosphere, so all the way up in the atmosphere. So we continue to see cool pumps of air, and that'll be the case at least for the next few mornings. We'll finally see those lows come up into the mid-40s, though, as we head into the end of the week. Tomorrow, if you're out running, we're going to have sunshine in the morning with 50 degrees. I still think we're going to have fairly sunny skies tomorrow as well. Just, again, a few clouds popping in the afternoon, and the temperature at 5 o'clock near 65. We're going to be in the low to middle 60s tomorrow all across our area, and as we head into the end of the week as well, 60 65 there. An isolated shower is in the picture for Friday, but I do not expect the rain to be widespread at this point. Saturday, the same thing, 67. Here come the lows up into the low to middle 40s by Fridays and Saturday mornings. Your weekend outdoor plans look best on Sunday. That will be the warmer of the two. It will finally feel like it should this time of year. Sunday topping out near 70.
Hey guys, I have something I guarantee you're gonna love, because let me tell you, I got this out of the packaging, I started trying it, and all of my people who work for me came up to the office and were like, hey, I need one of those. Hey, I want one of those. Hey, can I have one of those? What am I talking about? This is Reathlete. It's a company that I'm sure you've heard about. They're on social media. Everybody's talking about them. It's the hottest ticket because this concept of percussive therapy is one of the hottest concepts going right now. You're going to have your choice of some different models. We have the Deep 4, we have the Fold, and it's going to come with, by the way, different attachments, which I absolutely love. So this is one that you're going to charge. When you charge, you're going to find whatever attachment you want, and then you're going to decide where you want this therapy. Physical therapists started out using this. Professional sports trainers use this on professional athletes. Then the athletes were using it, and then personal trainers in gyms are using it. And this is what everybody's talking about. So now I have it in here, right? All charged. I'm going to hold this for a minute. Huh? This is percussive therapy. This is almost like a deep tissue, but you're controlling it. This is going to be an unbelievable pinpoint massage. You know how you get all the tension right up here? Wait, hold on. Oh my, yeah. I'm sorry, am I ignoring you? So this is amazing. Now, there's a lot of great options on localsteels.com. There's even more great options than what I'm showing you here. But here's the deal. You wake up funny, you sit too long, your back hurts, you overdid it in the gym. Anyone would love this. Everyone would love this. You can do this while you're watching TV. You can do this anytime, day or night. Here's what I love. These can be extremely investment oriented. If you go to localsteels.com right now, they're 20 to 49% off. Do yourself a favor, make yourself happy. Trust me, you will love it.
The Penguins are in full playoff mode, busy preparing for the Islanders, even though they have no idea of when that series will begin. And it's looking very encouraging that the Pens will have their injured players back. Mike Matheson, Evan Rodriguez, and Brandon Tanev are all practicing. They have lots of time to get ready, and when facing a defensive-minded team like the Islanders, the Pens are preaching patience.
You got to have some patience. You got to do those little things. You got to pay attention to the details, because any little thing that could go wrong, any little mistake can end up in the back of your net, and there aren't too many opportunities and aren't too many goals in games like that. So I think for us, our ability to stay patient and to kind of trust the process.
And because Governor Wolf has loosened restrictions on indoor and outdoor gatherings, the Pens can increase to 50% capacity, or about 9,000 fans, starting on Monday. Bigger crowds just in time for the playoffs.
I want you to see this woman. She is the first woman to do a dive from a moving hot air balloon. Take a look.
3, 2, 1.
I mean, that's just like seamless. She barely even had a splash there. I give it a 10. Four-time cliff diving world champion decided to undertake this feat after the World Championships were canceled last year. So she says that was a big disappointment. She needed something new to push for.
What a special feeling. It all happened so fast, and I can't wait to settle down and relive the moments and think about what actually just happened. I had a little bit of tunnel vision, to be honest, this morning. It was just so exciting.
Her bid for a 5th consecutive diving world championship title will start in June in France, and good luck to her.
That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us today. Have a good one.